Hello everyone and welcome to the Starni Games Dev Q&A number 2. So today I will be answering all of the questions that you've sent to us through Google form. So I've sorted those by the theme, and I will start by answering questions from the Starni Games team section. So the first question is by Oni Ain. Are you all doing all right? I mean more like, are you safe-ish wherever you are? Well, first of all, thank you very much for your caring about our team. So we are relatively safe. All of us are in Kiev right now, and of course, Kiev is the capital of the country at war, so anything could happen. And we had missile strikes not far from our office a couple of months ago, but recently there haven't been any major any attacks basically on Kiev area, but many other cities suffer attacks every day, so it's relatively safe in Kiev, but overall, Ukraine is still at war, so things are somewhat unpredictable. So we are more or less safe for the time being, but there is no guarantees that the situation will not worsen in the future. Yeah, but we are fine overall. So thank you for this question. Yeah, we keep working and we hope for the best. The next question is from Gastella. It's in Russian, so I will translate it in English for you. Hello. Is there Russian language support planned in your future projects? So, well, I don't think our policy on Russian language has changed after the war, because we know that, there are many people in different countries who use Russian language, not necessarily in Russia. So, and even in Russia, we are okay if, people who understand what's going on and, who support Ukraine and are against the war are playing our games, that's all right, I think. So, basically, I don't think there is any major changes to the policy regarding Russian language in our future projects, but I must say that if we are working together with other companies, for example, the question of localization would be a joint decision, and we cannot guarantee that we will have Russian in all future projects, but it is possible that it will be there. So I would say it would depend on the project. And if you look at Ukraine war stories, for example, we added Russian language on purpose to, to make available accurate and truthful information about what's going on in Ukraine right now, and spread it, among the Russian-speaking audience across the world, in Russia and in other countries as well, because the primary idea of the project is to inform the people across the world what's happening. And basically Steam made the Ukraine War Stories store page unavailable for all users who have a Russia region, so they cannot access store page directly. So because they thought that the project violates some Russian laws, I'm not sure which ones exactly, but maybe they are right. So yeah, I mean, we would probably add Russian language where appropriate, but that would depend on the project, and yeah, basically that's the answer. Okay, so now let's move on to the next topic. So Ulf is asking supposedly about Panzer Strategy, but as he says, not really a question, just send in my wishes for your survival and to the war to be over. Got all of your previous games. Well, that's really heartwarming. Thank you very much for your support, and I'm really happy that you enjoy our games, and I hope you will get to play the future ones as well. And we all basically get through the war, and would continue to work on new interesting projects after the war is over. Basically, we keep doing that right now despite the war. So thank you very much for your wishes, and yeah, thanks a lot, and I hope you will enjoy our next games as well, and we all basically live to see that. Okay, now let's move on to the questions about Strategic Mind Spirit of Liberty. So there is a question by Arthur. Steam page says it will be releasing this year, but as we know, the war is still going on. Will it be delayed to the next year? And also a similar question in Russian from Daniil. Should I expect the release of the game about Finns in September? Well, as we've just announced recently, we had to once again postpone the release, so it will happen in 2023. The reason is we had a big delay because of the war, and basically we had to focus on, like restoring our operations and, delivering all we have in time. So we've been working really hard to resume everything, and right now I can say that we are back on track, but it would require still some time to finish the project because we couldn't really make the like cinematics or voiceover because of the war. So things are basically back in motion, but it's hard to say like exact date because we have to gather our voice actors in Kiev, and right now it's more problematic because of the war. So we are still like trying to understand what would be the exact release date. But yeah, right now the plan is to finish the project in the near future and release it sometime in 2023. Once again, the sooner we would like to release it like basically as soon as we can without compromising on quality, but since there are some factors that are tough to predict, we are not naming a specific date, but we plan to basically release it as soon as we can in 2023. So yeah, you can expect it to be delivered and we will keep you updated on this. So basically starting October we'll be making some monthly reports on what the status of the project is and how our work on it progresses. So yeah, stay tuned and you will have all the information about our progress. Yeah, so another question by Oniane. So how is this progressing? I hope you don't feel like you need to rush the game or like. Well, yeah, we had good progress at the very beginning, but then we had a pause basically, and now we are resuming the work on it again. And I think we already made good progress before, so right now with more a question of, you know, voiceover, final polish, like cinematics and localization and everything. So when we can put everything together, we will release the title. And yeah, we try not to rush it because we really have like high hopes for this project, because we really like the historical background on what's going on, like, you know, a small nation being invaded and fighting for its survival. And, you know, we started working on it even before the large-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine. Of course, like, there already were some similarities with what happened in 2014, when Russia supported troops invaded Russian troops, basically covered troops, invaded Donbas area and Crimea. But right now it's the similarities are even more striking. So we really love and appreciate this project, and we want it to be successful. So we are really rooting for it, and we'll do all we can for it to become successful. So don't worry. And yeah, we won't rush it, but we also don't want to stall it too long. I mean, it's already sort of long, quite a while in development, and there have been delays, you know, due to force majeure situation and war and everything. But we really want to finish it, and, you know, finish it in high quality. So it will be released when it's ready, and we'll be working hard to, you know, make sure that it's not too far off. Another question is from Otso. Hey, what are your plans for the release of the Strategic Mind Spirit of Liberty? Thanks, from Finland. Well, basically, I think I've already answered a bunch of similar questions. But yeah, I can add that before the release, we would probably have, as you know, we already also have Strategic Mind Spirit of Liberty prologue, which covers the first few operations of the Winter War. And, you know, the game covers not only Winter War, but also the Continuation War and the Lapland War. So you would be able to play the first scenarios for free at some point when we release the demo, and when we release the Strategic Mind Spirit of Liberty prologue. So make sure you follow the project, and, you know, so we will you will be able to try it out sooner than the actual release date. So yeah, stay tuned, and yeah, we have basically a plan for the release, but the dates are somewhat flexible at the moment, because we have to take into account how the situation in Ukraine develops, you know, and many other factors as well. And thank you very much. You know, we really appreciate how Finland defended it during the World War II, and it didn't have much support from other countries, so it was really tough for you guys. And we see that Finland right now really feels for Ukraine. So, you know, thank you very much for your support. And yeah, and I hope you will enjoy playing Strategic Mind Spirit of Liberty when it's out. Okay, so moving on to the next section, it's Strategic Mind Blitzkrieg. We have one question from Wilbur Wood. Did you ever consider making a DLC for the game, The Invasion of North America? Well, we thought about the invasion of North America as a part of alternate history scenarios in Blitzkrieg initially, but it felt like somewhat too far-fetched even for alternate history scenarios. So basically It could be an interesting DLC though, but you know, historically it would be quite hard for the German Navy to successfully, you know, cross the ocean and land a large enough landing force for any serious invasion. So it's you know, very hypothetical scenario. Yeah, it's probably fun to play, so we could consider making some of that like at some point, but it's really like really far-fetched or like very alternate history sort of scenarios. And in most cases our alternate history scenarios are sort of close to the realm of possibility. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you can say that some of them are indeed also far-fetched, but you know, we tried to follow some logic in that. So and yeah, we've stopped in Europe basically, that you conquer the UK, and you know, then after, instead of landing in Normandy, the US troops will land in UK, and then you'll fight for London with them. So and then you have to fight, you know, struggle for power in Berlin. Yeah, so basically the next would probably be the invasion of North America, but then it doesn't really make sense from the plotline point of view, because, you know, they sort of wanted to make peace with everyone and end the war. Yeah, but yeah, when we were working on Blitzkrieg, we had some ideas like that. Yeah, but basically it was too much, basically, for the base game. Yeah, it could be a DLC option, but once again, yeah, we'll think about it. But yeah, right now we are mostly focused on our ongoing projects that are Spirit of Liberty and Headquarters World War II. But you know, I can't say for sure that we will never do that, but you know, right now there are no such plans. Once again, who knows? Everything is possible. Moving on to the next section, that is Strategic Mind, Spectre of Communism. We have a long question from Daniil. It's also in Russian, so yeah. Basically, Daniil says that he is a big fan of our games, especially PS4 ports, and he spent a lot of time trying to complete the Spectre of Communism campaign on high difficulty, and he could complete like many battles, but the Kursk battle seems to be too difficult, and he would like to know what's the best way to overcome that battle. And also if we could share some screenshot of the deployment phase before the battle to better understand how to approach it. Thanks a lot, and he also wishes Ukraine victory. Well, thank you very much for this wish. We really need any help and any support we can get right now for Ukraine. Regarding your question, I think that you know, we've been playtesting it a while ago, so it's sort of hard to find these like save files and screenshots right now. But I would say that in any Strategic Mind title in general, all subsequent battles are sort of, in most cases, are more difficult, but your forces are also becoming more powerful. So if you're managing your forces correctly, and you know, taking advantage of all the equipment, unit upgrades, and mainly the overstrength of your units. If you don't lose your units a lot in previous battles, your army also grows more powerful, especially with heroes. So at some point, even though the battles are becoming more complicated, your army is also becoming more powerful, and in some cases you can snowball so that it's actually becoming easier and easier for you instead of becoming more difficult. So yeah, I think the Kursk battle could be like one of the toughest in the campaign, but if you overcome it, it would probably, get to progress further and get even stronger units, and then it would be easier to complete the rest of the campaign. So I don't think there is like a special trick or correct way to deploy units. Some are probably better, some are worse, but in general I would suggest making sure that the way you completed all previous battles is good enough so that your forces are powerful enough to take on the Kursk battle, basically. Also, you could lower the difficulty for one battle and then put it back up if you want after the battle. So you can basically manually control the difficulty for every battle and change it back. So of course you probably don't want to do that, but just in case. Yeah, so good luck with that, and I hope you can complete the Kursk battle and progress further in your campaign. Okay, moving on to the next section, which is quite a large one. It's Strategic Mind series in general. So first two questions from Vladi. The first one is, hi, I have a question. Do you plan to create games related to the First World War? Well, of course, that would be a logical thing to assume, and we gave it a thought as well. It feels like World War One, though it's a bit not so rich in different unit diversity and different unit types, but it's totally doable. We have no concrete plans for that right now. That's one of the possibilities that we keep in mind, but we also not necessarily want to focus only on like World War II, World War I theme. There could be different potential projects. So I would say we keep that possibility in mind, but we don't have any concrete plans for that at the moment. And the second question from Vladi is, how difficult will it be for you to implement a game created, for example, during the Middle Ages or the Roman Empire? Well, it wouldn't be too difficult, but we'll have to have a clear vision for such projects, and to understand how it should work. And of course, it would require more changes because, we would have to have different visuals, different unit models, different mechanics probably. Yeah, we could use like most of the Strategic Mind mechanics if that would be a part of the Strategic Mind series, for example, but still it would require a lot of changes. So but why not? I mean, it's totally possible, but once again, same as previous questions, it's something that we think about, but we don't have a concrete plans for it yet. And basically, we can only deliver that many projects at a time. So right now we are focusing on the ongoing project, and then we will start working on some future projects as well. And which ones that would be depends on many factors, including potential partners, etc. So there would be a tough competition for the game setting and game theme, and you know, we would be happy to make many games in different settings, but we would probably not be able to deliver all of that we want. But you know, we'll start working on some project and surely deliver you some great games in the future. Okay. Next two questions are from Thomas. So the first one is: the series is very good, but sometimes there is a visual bug of a unit appearing in the wrong place. When it moves, it looks like it's clipping error and the viewport gets all black and messed up. When the next unit moves, it's all good again. Can you please fix that? Yeah, I would guess that's the bug with the undo button. When the unit starts jumping around, it's really pesky one. And yeah, we really would like to fix that, but it's sort of hard to pin down. So would certainly give it a try as we keep working on the Spirit of Liberty. So if we manage to do that, we'll deliver an update on all strategic mind titles. But the problem with such bugs usually is that it's sort of occurs at unpredicted moments, so it's hard to track down and debug and find where the problem is. So some problems are hard to fix because it's hard to replicate it and repeat it consistently. So if we manage to do that, yeah, we'll happily fix that. Yeah, I know it's annoying. Also, if you have such visual bugs, it's a usually easy way to fix them is press F5 and then F8, basically quick save, quick load. This often fixes some like visual problems, but yeah, we'll do our best to fix that. The second question is, will there be more strategic mind games, hopefully also with bigger maps? Well, the second part of the question is really interesting because we always felt that our maps are sort of too large. So it's interesting that you want bigger maps. I don't know which games you've played. And actually, let us know if you've played the Battle of Moscow in Blitzkrieg, because it's really huge. And so, like, if you want bigger maps, how much bigger would you like the maps to be? Because right now it feels like they're already quite big. So yeah, let us know about that. Now, will there be more strategic mind games? Well, I cannot say for sure right now because we are discussing different scenarios basically. But what I can say for sure is there will be Strategic Mind Spirit of Liberty, first free prologue and then the full game. And that's all that's confirmed for now. It is possible that Spirit of Liberty could be the last game, in the current Strategic Mind setup, like with current visuals, UI, etc. But it's certainly possible that we will make a sequel later on, with upgraded functionality and everything. But it's hard to tell. I mean, whether there be more strategic mind games as we know it right now, or will there be a sequel or some other content for the series. Right now, like, there is no plan set in stone, so everything could change, and I cannot say for sure at this stage, but I do hope that there will be more strategic mind games in general at some point. So not necessarily as we know them right now, but maybe better ones, but with some further improvements. But yeah, so we are definitely not abandoning Strategic Mind series overall, but when and which games will that be remains to be seen. For now, only Spirit of Liberty is confirmed. Next question from Wilbur Wood. Will you continue the series or move to other projects? Well, I've already started answering this question, in the previous one, but I can say that those two ideas are not contradictory. What I mean is we can both continue the series and move to other projects, which is what will likely happen. Or let's say we could have some delay in the series and then go back to it. We'll definitely want to, not only focus on one series, make Strategic Mind series forever. We definitely don't want to abandon this Strategic Mind series, but we also want to work on other projects and to make a bit more diverse portfolio of games. Of course, we are first of all focused on the turn-based strategy games, so even if we start other projects, they may be of interest to you because that's sort of our area of expertise, and we'll keep making good strategy games, I hope. So so my answer is we'll probably continue the series at some point. I mean, right now we are continuing with Spirit of Liberty, and then we'll see what happens next. And we are also working right now on Headquarters World War II, and then there could be some other projects as well. So basically we would want to expand our portfolio of games and start working on more projects, but also our top priority right now is finishing and delivering good quality games to you, and we are growing our team to facilitate for that. So when releasing more Strategic Mind titles, the team was around maybe 10 to 12 people. Then it grew to 15, but right now it's 20 plus. So we really strengthened our team, and we hope that it will help, making more and better projects in future. So stay tuned, and there is a lot of interesting stuff coming up. But first of all, we'll finish the two projects that we are working on right now. That is Strategic Mind Spirit of Liberty and Headquarters World War II. Another question by Steve Williams. I love the Strategic Mind series, but I've never got even close to completing one. I have restarted most titles many times, learning each time, but in default standard difficulty I cannot progress beyond mid-game. Usually I'm not a bad strategic operational wargame player. Question: will Starni be doing anything about the difficulty curve in the new game and perhaps applying it back in older titles of the series? Strategic Mind titles are just plain too hard, and the scenario difficulty ramp up too fast. It caters to elite players who say to me, "Shush, it's all fine," and devs who know the game inside out. It isn't for average players. I don't see why I should change the difficulty to easy just to play normal difficulty, as this cheats by adjusting a max unit strength down. Well, we'll see how it goes with the Spirit of Liberty. I would say that it's probably have a more gradually growing difficulty curve, so probably the first few missions are a bit more forgiving, I would say, but overall it's still good old hardcore Strategic Mind title, so don't expect it to be a lot easier. Regarding the difficulty, yeah, we totally understand that it's really brutal and it's really hardcore games, so that's why we did this flexible difficulty settings tool, and I don't see anything bad in setting it to lower difficulty, because yeah, it's, you know, it adjusts max unit strength down, but once again, AI has much more units, so it's not like it's taking away something from you. And once again, you know, you can adjust it at any moment during the campaign, so you can start out at lower difficulty, and if you feel that you know you are doing really well and it's become too easy for you, you can always boost it up. So that was done on purpose to allow you to play, and you know, we have the easy difficulty called storytelling for a reason, because there are people who want to learn the story and, you know, to see how the game ends basically, and to see all the plot. So that's why we added flexible setting, and there is nothing like shameful in using that, in lowering difficulty and, you know, completing it at a lower one. So yeah, so also I can say for sure that we won't be changing it for already released titles, because you know, it takes a lot of effort and balancing and playtesting to figure everything out. So if we right now change it for all titles, that would be really complicated and time consuming to introduce that, to be honest. So yeah, we are making some adjustments for the Spirit of Liberty, but it would probably also be not very easy. So yeah, I really recommend that you use the difficulty settings more actively, and I don't see anything bad in lowering difficulty if you can't progress. So I always think it's better, you know, to keep playing and to learn what will happen in the next mission, etc. So yeah. Um, Also, if you want to have some advice on like what's best way to complete it on high difficulty that you're trying to play on, I would say it's really uh, it's probably not very good, but that's how the game is. It really depends on you keeping all your forces, you know, alive, well equipped, and on using the overstrength mechanic. So basically, when your units level up, you are increasing their strength, so they are more powerful, and basically this ramps up. So, you know, to get through the later operations, you need really to scale up your force, not really in terms of number of units, but in terms of like quality and power of your units. So you need to like upgrade models, overstrength them, level up them, assign heroes. Heroes are really powerful. So like if you do all that, then you can progress relatively well on high difficulty. If you don't want, you know, to get that much into that, and you're not afraid of losing some of your units, which is more realistic probably, how the real war happens. So then I suggest to lower the difficulty, because enemy has lots of units, and even if they are at a lower strength, they still can wear down your troops. So I don't see it as a problem that you shouldn't like change difficulty or something. So I hope that you get to complete the titles, and that, you know, you both step up the your like understanding and knowledge of the game, and also change difficulty in some scenarios where it's too problematic to complete them. And you know, some scenarios are tougher than other ones, so you could consider lowering difficulty for those ones and then bringing it back up. So yeah, that would be my advice. And I can totally agree. I mean, the games are quite hard. You know, when I am playing them on stream, with basically, you know, without like reloading, like in one straight playthrough, on stream when every mistake is punished, and also it's more difficult to play on stream because you are like focused on what you are saying and you are less focused on the game, so usually make more mistakes, and basically it's quite tough even for developers to play it on high difficulty. So there is nothing wrong in lowering it, I think. And yeah, once again, why don't we make it lower? Right now it's sort of historically set, and we don't want to reverse it for the whole series right now. So yeah, we did those flexible adjustments for you to play with. So feel free to do that. Another question from Arthur. Spirit of Liberty is the last project of the Strategic Mind series. Well, as I've said before, it's basically the last project that's announced right now, and that is set for now. And there is a possibility of future Strategic Mind titles, but right now we cannot say what title would that be, and whether it will be another like title in the series, or it would be a sequel, or like Strategic Mind 2 or something. So right now no concrete plans for that. Now moving on to the next topic, it's Headquarters World War II. So yeah, it's a bit tricky here because this is the project that we are developing together with Slytherin. We are the developer and they are the publisher, so they are entitled, to share all the information on the project, and I cannot just freely tell you everything I know at the moment, but there will be more information coming through. So keep that in mind, that I might not be as, willing to share all the info right now as when it comes to the titles that we are working on without partners. So the first question is by Steve Williams. Any update on this, and will there be a pre-order with beta testing? So once again, I cannot say anything concrete on that, but you can expect more information to come soon through Slytherin channels, and I'm sure you are familiar with other Slytherin published, with other titles published by Slytherin, so I think I could say that you can expect a somewhat similar approach here, but cannot tell you more for now. Just stay tuned and keep following the updates from Slytherin team, and you will know everything soon enough. Another question by Steve Williams. Is Headquarters a unit level sim toy 10 game or a strategic tactical game, and will it have a deep campaign? Will it have the same RPG aspects as Strategic Mind series, where generals level up and interact with high command? So yeah, well, I would go to the publicly available information. That would be a Headquarters Steam page, and you can find a lot of information there actually in this game description. There is some information about mechanics and other features of the game. So yeah, so this store page says that see all sides of the story by completing 3 campaigns with 9 operations in each. The game features United States, United Kingdom and German campaigns, all set in the Normandy landings period of the war. Yeah, so there are some other features also described, so please check out Headquarters World War II Steam page if you would like to know more right now, and there will be more details released as well by the Slytherin as we are approaching the release. Also, regarding your question, is it a unit level sim? It's closer to that than to a strategic game. So basically, one tank is one tank. It's not a tank division, and yeah, you can say it's a unit level sim basically, but it's like not a single unit. It's it's like a small force, and yeah, it's the tactical level simulator basically. Maybe not very hardcore simulation, but it takes into account, it has quite detailed calculation for attack angles, etc. So every vehicle has, different armoring at different sides, like front, side, back, top. And when you fire, we calculate the angle of attack and then calculate the angle of how the unit is positioned and then see what's the armor value on that angles. And that's how we calculate the chance to the damage and the penetration and everything, armor penetration basically. So yeah, it's quite detailed in terms of units. And yeah, it has a realistic scale. So usually you would be storming like some a village or a district in a city, or some rural area. So yeah, the map would be relatively low scale. So and yeah, you have some tactical level tasks to achieve during each battle. It would also feature multiplayer, so we really hope that it will be enjoyable to play it with other people as a multiplayer game. And yeah, you can expect some aspects, although they wouldn't be the same as in Strategic Mind series, but some of the features are somewhat similar, although, presented in a different manner, done somewhat differently. So yeah, it's a less strategic and more tactical game compared to the Strategic Mind series, but we think it also will be very enjoyable, so please check it out. Another question by Oinien. Did you have some sort of cooperation with a publisher or another developer team with this? And if so, is it still going alright with them considering the situation? So yeah, to alleviate the fears after the war in Ukraine started, we basically that didn't cause any problems with our cooperation. And yes, we are doing it together with Slytherin, so they are the publisher of the Headquarters World War II, and basically their responsibility is as basically promoting and publishing the project, while we are fully focusing on the development. And I can say that it progresses well, and we are in constant cooperation with them. We are in touch all the time, and everything progresses well. And of course, war brings uncertainty, but they were willing to continue working as before, and we are really happy, and they help us and support us during these difficult times. And yeah, so everything progresses as planned. No serious changes to anything, and so the project will be finished and will be released. And yeah, everything goes well, and our cooperation is as strong as before. So you shouldn't worry about it, and you can expect to receive the project in good quality and in timely manner. Now let's move on to the next section, that is future projects. So the question by Vladi, what future projects do you have planned now? Well, right now we want to finish and release both Strategic Mind, Spirit of Liberty and Headquarters World War II. And it's not to say about Ukraine War Stories, which is a fully free game, a visual novel about the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It's basically the first months of the war through the eyes of civilians. So we had a separate Q&A on that, so you can check that out. So after we release these games, of course we have some plans and some thoughts, but nothing is final enough, for the announcement, or things might change. So I'm not ready to share any information on future projects right now. Everything is quite vague in that regard, but there will definitely be future project, and I think you can expect more information on that after we release the one that we are working on right now, because at that point we will have much more data and would be much more confident in revealing such information, and not misinforming you basically. The next question is by Andrei. Do you have any plans to make Strategic Mind game about Russian-Ukrainian war? Well, we had such thoughts before, and of course we are hearing a lot of such suggestions now. I would say that before, like starting 2014, there was a war going on, but it wasn't as large scale as World War II, so it was hard to make a game about it. It wasn't that eventful and stuff. Well, it's a good thing, but probably bad for the game. Yeah, but right now there is plenty of material and it's quite large scale, of course, so it's totally possible to make such game. Will we do that, or when we do that is an open question. Right now we don't have any concrete plans on that. I say it's a possibility, and it's likely that we will do that at some point, but I would say that we probably wouldn't start it before the end of the war, and even when the war ends, I'm not sure we'll start it like anytime soon, but it's totally possible that we could do that at some point. But yeah, nothing concrete for now. Another question by Arthur. Will Starni start a new project which is not about World War II, or already started a project not related to Ukraine war stories? So, well, I cannot say that we started a project not about World War II, but we are considering some options that are not World War II or World War One. So I say that it's totally possible. We are not planning to keep making games only about World War II. But yeah, right now it seems like that because all our games are about World War II basically. But in fact, we are open to that, and we can make sort of any settings literally, as long as those are turn-based, strategy or tactics or RPG or something. So yeah, would probably still focus on turn-based type of games, but what setting and what type of project that would be is sort of open right now. So after we finish the current project, we'll probably have some new announcements, but right now I cannot say for sure. We'll probably continue making some World War II games, but would also work on some other settings as well. So I cannot share right now any like new projects, but I can say, yeah, it's totally possible, and you know, we are growing the team so that we can keep working on some ongoing projects and also start working on some new ones. So yeah, you could expect both, I think, World War II and non-World War II projects from us in the future. Okay, guys, these were all the questions. So we'll make another Q&A, I think, around the end of the year. So we'll start gathering questions probably like November, December, and we'll email you and post on Steam once again the Google form. Also, one organization question. So a couple of you guys could have noticed that you've sent your questions and I didn't answer those. We got a couple of Google forms which were sort of you selected the section to which the question belongs but didn't enter the question, or it didn't save. But basically we've got a couple of Google form replies with only sections selected and no questions in them. So in case I didn't answer your question, there was probably some issue with sending questions from Google Sheets. So next time we'll make sure to make Google Forms. So next time we'll make Google Forms send you a copy of your questions so you can double check that everything is correct and that you didn't, send it wrong or something. And that would require you to enter your email so they can send you a copy of your questions, just to avoid such mistakes and such problems, basically. And we'll make the next Q&A, the dev Q&A number 3 in December. So if your questions weren't answered, or you have more questions, or you get more questions as we, keep working on our projects, and you hear more information and more announcements from us and from Slytherin, you can ask us any questions during the next Q&A. So keep that in mind and follow our Steam announcements and subscribe to our email not to miss that. And we'll email the info about the next Q&A as soon as it's ready. Yeah, so that's regarding the Q&A, and we'll try to keep those regular, at least once every few months, to keep you updated on what's going on in the company and answering all of your questions about our work. Yeah, so right now we're working really hard to deliver Headquarters World War II and resuming our work on Strategic Mind Spirit of Liberty, making sure we can deliver it timely as well. So yeah, check out the Ukraine War Stories title if you're interested in what has been going on in Ukraine recently. And yeah, I hope that you will enjoy playing our upcoming titles, and I'm really looking forward to more questions from you during the December Q&A. So, think about more questions, and I would be more than happy to answer these. Really looking forward to it, and have a great time, and see you during the next Dev Q&A in December. Goodbye.